Okay, I thought I'd do something useful with the ChatGPT and Blender and the Python thing. So, in the past, I've wanted to create an animated camera from a selected load of cameras, and this has been for like photogrammetry projects where I get a scene and there's many cameras, and I just want one camera that animates to the position of all the cameras over, however many cameras there are, how many frames the one camera animates to. So I asked GPT to can you write a Blender script to create one animated camera from multiple selected cameras? This was the second attempt. I did try the first attempt, but I didn't check it. It might still work. It did come up with an error, but it still worked. So let me show you that. So I'll just create a load of cameras, and let's say we now want an animated camera over 5 frames, being that there's 5 cameras, right? So if we go to the scripting, and I will select in order. It actually gives you instructions on how to run the script and everything. So I'm in the scripting tab. To use the scripts, okay, select the cameras, and then paste so create a new script, and then I'll copy the code, paste the code, run the code, and it will say, oh, there's an error. And I thought, oh, it hasn't worked. And I didn't check it. And it has created a camera, and it does animate across the thing. So, and I'm, I'm very new. I dabble. I'm not a programmer, and I hack other people's scripts together, but if you just gave me a blank text document, I couldn't write I look at what other people have done and try and bend it to my will if I understand what they've written and what I guess I'm more of a modder than a coder, right? So horizontal. So sorry, yeah, we'll go time. But yeah, I guess you go on Fiverr and get someone to write you, right? But there you go. Look, you see, it's animating, and my brother's a coder, and asked him to help me to come up with a script, and he did and everything. But look, it just for absolutely no real programming chops at all. Okay, there's this error message which is in the last thing, and this is when I realised that it was working, and even though it threw this error up, because when you look at the line 31, it was like right at the very end. So I thought, oh, I have to. And so yeah, check thing worked. So yeah, that's, I guess, shows the utility of. There's a limit on the. I think it's 500 characters or something. They probably want to, because there's a computational cost, I guess. So you can only write little short scripts, but that I did ask it to try and create an orrery, of our solar system, and it sort of got it's doing it, and then it got halfway down and then stopped, and it was like oh there's the limit. So maybe with the paid version it's there is no limit. I don't know, but that script didn't work. So it's not but it's like if you have an issue and you're thinking, I think a Python script will probably be able to do this, and it's a relatively short one, under 500 characters or whatever. It's worth a shot, And I don't know how long they'll. Hopefully they'll just keep it free, like this version, and they'll just come out with a better version that you have to buy or whatever, pay for, on the ChatGPT thing. That was it really. Just after the not very impressive, not very useful. It was kind of interesting with the OpenSCAD, ChatGPT to OpenSCAD, see if it can create the model was super simple, the chair, and it was like, that's not really. But this is just like a sort of real world, in production, you come across these issues all the time, and then it's very rare, it's only, there's only normally a sort of one or two programmers or people who can script. On larger productions, I'm sure it's less of a problem in an actual large facility, I'm sure there's people, but their time is always super limited. So if you can solve your own problems, or at least give this a shot before bothering borrowing the sort of tech team or whatever, or support team or whatever. Yeah, I mean this is great. So yeah, I'm super pleased with this because this is something that I wanted. I mean, I had a workaround with the photogrammetry thing in that the program can export out the camera chan file. I've covered that in another video from the photogrammetry program, and then I can import the chan file into Blender, so I've got an animated camera. But initially, I was thinking, how can I not convert them? Is there not an easy way? If you've got hundreds of cameras from a photogrammetry thing, it's like, how can I just convert that to one animated camera? Is there not a way of doing that? So this is a real world solution. Well, I mean, okay, it's very, I guess, very niche and specific, but it was like, I mean, that's the to find an actual, it's not a terribly complicated thing that it's done. I mean, I wouldn't know really where to start, being a completely noob at the coding side of things. So this is great, and it also comments it, so you can learn from the code. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think Python is probably, I mean, I've done Unity Dev, and that's all C sharp, and I've just followed other people's tutorials and all the rest of it. But I'm kind of gravitating towards Python. Okay, I'll stop here because I don't want the video too long. But it was just like to show that I have got something that works. It's just kind of useful for minimal effort. So that's it really. Okay.